Welcome to Wednesday, October 11th, 2023, your day weather podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com and hit that subscribe button. Well, folks, we are going to be looking at big changes on our way. A storm is a-brewing. The storm we've been talking about for the last several days is on track to become the first real impactful storm of the season. As you can see there on the graphic, the pink means winter storm warnings, the blue winter storm watches. So you can see a large part of Wyoming and then also surrounding states going to be affected by the storm system. So get ready. This is going to be a big departure from the gorgeous weather, and it has been gorgeous, that we've had here for quite a while. The snows are going to be heavy in the mountains. As we've been mentioning, hunters, be prepared. Hope you are prepared, as all of Wyoming's mountain ranges will see the heaviest snow of the season. We're going to see heavy rain in some areas as well. It's not a terribly cold system. Yes, there'll be the first snow of the season for some areas on the plains, but there'll be parts of central and northern Wyoming, parts of Nebraska and South Dakota that get a lot of rain out of this system. We're also going to have very strong winds on the backside of this low. On the southern edge of the low, there's going to be some high winds that we'll have to contend with as well. So it's not going to be really good. So travelers, be prepared as well, because the higher elevations of Interstate 80, the mountain passes, are going to be affected by snow, especially between Laramie and Cheyenne and Laramie and Rawlins. But better weather is coming for the weekend as the storm will clear out and high pressure will return. Beautiful scene there. This was taken about a week ago. You can see the snow beginning to stick around, and there's going to be a lot more on top of it. This photo out of the Wind Rivers, and the Wind Rivers, a mountain range that is probably headed towards a significant amount of snow. The mountain range is going to be most impacted. The satellite loop this morning shows the low here just off the coast of Seattle. You can see the swirl of clouds right there, and we've been talking about the very strong jet stream winds with this low, helping to dig it into the Rockies and spin it up and give it that energy it needs. So it's all coming together. And you can see this. This is at the 30,000 foot level, showing you the very strong winds with the jet stream coming in. And so they're digging in, and that's going to close up the low. As it comes in from Seattle this morning, that's where it's going to be to start the day. It rapidly, and I mean rapidly, comes in, forms a closed low by noon Thursday. So look at the distance it covers. And then notice the storm becomes closed off, a closed circulation, and you're going to have very strong upslope conditions around the low like this, the counterclockwise rotation. On the backside and the bottom of the low, very strong westerly winds, and we'll show you where that's going to be. Then out ahead of it, your heaviest precipitation is going to be to the north, northeast, and northwest of the low right there. We're also going to see thunderstorms. This is the thunderstorm forecast for today. Could see some severe weather out into Nebraska and Iowa. Then general thunder as this storm digs in today. If you loop the precipitation forecast from this morning and take it all the way up into early Saturday, you can see the areas of the most concentrated area of rainfall across central and northern Wyoming, northern Nebraska, those southern and southwest counties of South Dakota there, then pushing out across the upper Midwest and the northern Corn Belt. You can see also that the way the low is tracking, the Colorado area is not going to get much precipitation except the northern and central mountains and northwest mountains of Colorado. The Wasatch Front, the mountains of Idaho, the mountains of southern and southwestern areas of Montana are going to get into the act as well. But you can see there's a real concentration there between Interstate 90 and Interstate 80. That's kind of where the storm is going to be tracking and producing the heaviest moisture. So this is going to be a cold October rain, and where it's going to be cold enough, and this is going to be over the higher elevations of Wyoming and the Pine Ridge in Nebraska and the Black Hills of South Dakota, is where you're going to get the snow. So you can see the snow getting pretty far out here into the northern sandhills in Nebraska. The Black Hills, the high Black Hills, are going to see some significant snow. The Bighorns could really get a lot of snow. Hunters in the Bighorns, hunters in the Wind Rivers in particular, also the Absarokas, the Beartooths, down into the Snowy Range, the Sierra Madres, the Laramie Range Mountains, Laramie Peak. And notice the pink here getting into places like potentially Casper, Douglas, over to Lusk, You're going to see in this Shirley Basin area, the central Wyoming area as well, some accumulating snowfall from the storm system. We're also going to have some very heavy winds. These are the wind gusts between now and Friday evening. Notice southern Colorado, northern New Mexico, the Raton Pass area here will be impacted by very heavy winds as we get into Thursday and Friday. Very strong winds out into the plains of Colorado, where that low is going to be tracking right here and really bringing in some strong downslope there. So it's got everything, this storm does. A real wake-up call. And to focus in, this is where you want to watch out for the worst weather conditions in terms of winter weather. But it's going to be very wintry. On the back side of the storm, after the skies clear, and there'll be snow on the ground in some areas, these are the overnight low temperatures by Saturday morning. So if you haven't been completely nipped by the frost or the freeze bug yet, you will after the storm moves through. The good news is high pressure builds in, strong high pressure for the weekend. So the weekend will bring rapid improvement. That will probably last through Monday and Tuesday of next week before the next trough towards late Tuesday and Wednesday wants to come in. We'll see what this one does. Not quite sure if it's going to be a minor system or a larger one, but the overall story here is the same. This October storm is on track. It's going to be impactful. Be ready for it. There will be the heaviest snow in the mountains, but some areas of central and east central and northeastern Wyoming, you're going to see your first accumulating snows of the year. Watch sections of Interstate 80, and of course, all of the mountain passes will be impacted. This is going to be especially true late today and late tonight. It'll be tonight, Thursday, and Thursday night where the impacts will be the highest. We'll have more for you tomorrow. Have a good Wednesday.